Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Norristown High School Gymnasium for the opening basketball game of the year. This is Jim Nelson and Frank Winkle here to broadcast to you with the Eagles of Norristown welcoming the Colonials of Plymouth Whitemarsh. This should be a real test for both teams. Plymouth Whitemarsh returns 3 out of 5 starters from last year. Norristown has 4 of their 5 starters coming back. In some preseason polls, one run by the Mid-Atlantic Sports Service, Plymouth Whitemarsh was picked to be 3rd in the state, and Norristown was ranked 5th. Both teams have done very well in preseason scrimmages, and so once again, this promises to be a very good contest for each team, and one that should tell us a lot about whether each team is really ready for the year and how they might fare a little bit later on. Starting lineups for tonight's game. For Plymouth Whitemarsh, number 13, Brad Bell. Number 15, Mike Marinello, the shooting guard. At center will be number 31, Thorvald Fisher. And at the forwards, number 43, Taurus King. And number 33, Keith Green. For the Norristown Eagles, starting at the forwards will be number 41, Mike Evans, and number 40, Jeff Thompson. Starting at center will be number 33, Priest Ramsey, who is taking the place of the regular center, Rich Myers, who will be missing this game. At the guards, number 32, Binky Johnson, and number 13, Howard Flowers. In talking to both coaches before the game, both of them felt that the big problem tonight would be in how they handled the defensive rebounding. So that is one of the things that we will want to be looking for early on. Which team is controlling the boards? That will probably tell us an awful lot about who is going to take control of the game. In talking with Hank Stofko, Plymouth Whitemarsh's coach, he also said that he's not quite satisfied yet with this team early in the year because he's not certain how the work ethic has worked out. He doesn't feel yet that his team has meshed. And so another thing that we might want to watch tonight is whether the visiting Colonials work the ball around and set up as a team, or whether they have a tendency to take individual shots and not display the teamwork that he certainly hopes the team can have by the end of the year.
Okay, Jim, we're ready for the tap-off here. As far as height goes, it looks like both teams are pretty much even.
Jumping at center will be number 31, Fisher of Plymouth Whitemarsh. And at center for Norristown will be Priest Ramsey. One of the things we might watch for Norristown is how well Ramsey and Mike Evans adjust. Both of them were playing football fairly recently and have just made the move onto the basketball court. Tap is controlled by Plymouth Whitemarsh. The ball in the hand of Bell, who works it slowly over the court. Norristown is opening in a man-to-man defense, although Coach Cresswell said that they will probably be taking different defenses during the course of the year. King fires an air ball for the first shot. It's Norristown on the move with Johnson handling the ball and setting up the offense. Plymouth Whitemarsh is in a 1-3-1 zone defense. Flowers with the ball. Looks across court for Johnson on a long pass. Johnson looks for Evans. Back to Johnson. It's in the quarter to Thompson. Thompson tries to throw it into the center. The ball is picked off by Plymouth Whitemarsh. And there's a double dribble against the Colonials. Maybe, Frank, one of the things we're noticing here are a little bit of pregame jitters, early game jitters, with neither team settling into the way they want to play.
Well, it looks like Norristown was trying to get the ball inside initially. Plymouth Whitemarsh came right out shooting from the outside. Maybe they think they can get the rebounds underneath.
Norristown moving the ball around the perimeter. It's sharp passing. Flowers on a fake, over to Evans. Evans on the drive and the baseline for 2. Norristown is on the board, leading 2-0.
So you can see Norristown trying to work the ball inside. We'll have to see what kind of strategy Plymouth Whitemarsh uses.
Norristown also moved their offense up a little bit. Bell on the drive. He's off. The foul is on Evans. That is the first Norristown team foul. First foul, obviously, on Evans. Bell is on the line for 2 shots. First one misses, hitting off the back of the rim. Second shot by Bell is up and good. Norristown by 1, 2-1. The Colonials fall back in defense. They're not pressing. Looks now as though they've settled into a 2-3. There's a foul on Mike Marinello, trying to force the issue and pressure Evans out near center court. Plymouth Whitemarsh's zone is now settled into a 1-3-1. It's Marinello who will be doing the chasing out front.
Apparently, Stopko wants to keep Norristown from getting inside, playing that zone. He wants to force us to take the outside shot. Norristown's going inside, though.
There goes Ramsey. Ramsey's ball blocked. Block was by Harold Fisher. Now walking call against Norristown. PW's ball moving up court. Bell handling the ball. Johnson getting ready to pick him up as he comes over center court. Bell moves to the right. Feeds in. Ramsey on the interception. Over to Johnson on the move up court. Into the center drive. And it is a blocking foul on number 33, Keith Breed. Was Johnson on the move on the break, a blocking foul. Norristown will have the ball underneath the basket. Johnson handling. Over to Thompson. Thompson's shot is blocked by 43 Torres King, and a nice defensive play. PW takes over, moving the ball up court. This time Johnson is moving over half court to pick up Bell. Bell on the move, feeds Marinello. Marinello being covered by Flowers, and there's a height disadvantage here that PW might want to play a little bit later.
Norristown's man-to-man seems to be effective at the moment.
John Cresswell said that he planned on staying in there and would mix it up, but he might not have reason to do so. Thompson on the jumper misses. Ball controlled by PW. Keith Green chasing him down, feeds Bell. Bell up to Torres King with a jump shot from the outside. King uses the backboard, and with almost 3 minutes gone in the first period, it's 3-2 in a very low-scoring game. There's Thompson from the corner. No.
I think that's really Norristown's first outside shot, Jim.
That foul's on Brad Bell, his first. And it's Jeff Thompson will go to the foul line, shooting 2. Yeah, what you said earlier, Norristown apparently certainly wants to play the ball inside. They do not appear to want to take many outside shots.
Well, at the start of the season, Cresswell thought the big thing would be the transition game, getting the ball up and down the court as fast as possible. Plymouth Whitemarsh seems to have stopped that for a while. We'll just have to see how things go.
Thompson misses the first shot off the back of the board. Ready for the second. Up. And he misses that one also. 0 for 2, and the score remains 3-2. King on the move, feeds out to Bell. Bell setting up the offense, works over to Marinello. Marinello with a jumper from 3. He's got it. He's got the jump shot. And it's Plymouth Whitemarsh 6-2. Flowers on the outside, deep to Johnson, who is controlling the offense. Plays on the right to Flowers. Flowers into the center to Thompson. Thompson on the drive, misses the layup. Thompson on the rebound. Ball is blocked and controlled by Fisher. Very nice defensive play by Fisher. Bell tries to catch Marinello underneath, throws it over his head and ball's out of bounds. Norristown coming up court. Norristown appears to be tight here on their opening shots. Seems to be a lot of balls that are bouncing deep off that board.
But they're going to need somebody to start taking the outside shot. They can't try to get the ball inside.
Johnson and Flowers. There goes Flowers right now. The ball's up. It's off the back of the rim.
Well, there's the first long shot.
Down for TW. On the control. Ball is lost. Ramsey up for Johnson. Johnson on the drive. Johnson for two on the layup. Both teams appear to be very tight, which is only natural this early in the year. Bell slows it down, tries to control the pace. Johnson goes for the steal. Bell on the drive, up the center. Thompson on a nice block. Gives to Johnson. Johnson on the move, feeds Ramsey. Ramsey drives.
Well, that's the kind of game that Cresswell wants, Jim. He wants that transition game.
All right, ran it to perfection that time. Get the ball in Johnson's hands and he can make things go. Colonials again.
The Colonials are rather content to just bring the ball up slow, let the offense set up and see what they can do.
Fisher on a jump shot with his first two. Flowers on the outside with a shot set. Flowers hit for the three-pointer. Norristown leads 9-8 with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left in the first quarter.
Well, if Howard can keep that up, that's going to give Stofko something to worry about.
TW has two subs at the bench ready to come in. Coach Stofko obviously has seen some things he's not told you. Three-pointer from the outside. Don't worry about it, that's all. I did give it to him. They give you that. Over to Thompson in the corner. On the jump, back to Flowers. And there is a foul on Taurus King. That is his first. Plymouth White Marsh's third. Norristown will take the ball out under the basket.
One advantage, excuse me, Jim, one advantage PW has, when they're outside shots, they're shooting over our little short men.
Lum and Moore have just come in the game for Plymouth White Marsh. Thompson from the corner. Yeah. 4-2. All five of Norristown's starters are now in the scoring column. And that, too, is something certainly that has to make Coach Cresswell pleased in that they are distributing the scoring. Bell on the move. Over to Moore. Moore makes the three-pointer for 1-5. And they're back in the lead 13-11. Norristown looks very, very careless handling the ball. Steal goes to Marinello. Marinello in for the layup.
Norristown seems somewhat caught off guard by a little bit of a zone press there.
15-11 in favor of Plymouth White. Johnson from the outside, misses off the top of the court. Rebound by King. He's bringing the ball down. Slows it up. Moves it outside to Bell. Bell for another three-pointer. 18-11 as Plymouth White Marsh begins pulling away. Johnson, Flowers. Flowers back to Johnson. Over to Flowers. Over to Johnson. Johnson fakes the shot. Looks underneath on the drive. Ball is stolen. Picked up by Carl Moore. Moore to Marinello.
It seems that Norristown's offense, Jim, they're waiting for someone else to do something. Binky Johnson had the ball, and the other four were just standing there waiting for something to happen.
Norristown has got to start shooting some from the perimeter and try to hit those outside shots. They're trying to force it in. TW has it packed in.
They've got to keep their players moving on offense.
That last foul was on Jeff Thompson, his first, Norristown's second. Carl Moore on on the foul line, shooting his second. Ball is up and no good. He misses two. Ramsey on the rebound. Over to Johnson. Norristown moving up. Johnson fouled by Moore. On the move, Norristown will have the ball out. That's the fourth foul.
That's a 15 foul on Plymouth Whitemarsh, Jim. Plymouth Whitemarsh playing a very deliberate, planned game. It's working well for them so far. They take their time bringing the ball up. They let their offense set up, and they just seem to know what plays they want to run. Norristown on offense is just the opposite. They bring the ball down, and people are standing around.
Vicky Johnson hits the first of a 1-and-1, making it 18-12 in favor of Plymouth Whitemarsh with 26 seconds left in the first period. Second one is up good. Norristown closes in 9-5, and Norristown is now moving into full-court pressure. Trap on Bell. Marinello moves by. Shot up. Good. Plymouth Whitemarsh had no trouble with the press on that first attempt. Johnson on the drive, in, no good. The foul is against Johnson on the drive. Plymouth Whitemarsh has the ball out underneath, and once again, Norristown is applying man-to-man full court pressure. Ball is in Bell's hand, over to Marinello. Marinello up to King with a long shot. It's off the rim. The first quarter ends with the Colonials leading by 7, 20-13.
Well, Jim, it looks to me like PW looks like a team that's already played 4 or 5 games, and Norristown looks like a team that hasn't played a game yet.
Plymouth Whitemarsh has had 3 tough scrimmages this year. They've scrimmaged Simon Gratz and Redding and Martin Luther King. And the Simon Gratz coach was very impressed with the Colonials. And one has to remember that Gratz is thought by many to be one of the top 5 teams in the Mid-Atlantic region. Even though some of their players were hurting, they have a lot of depth.
In the shooting department, Jim, Plymouth Whitemarsh has hit 8 of 11. Norristown has only hit 5 of 11.